out was the question, how do you let emotions through? So the reason why the question came out was because I talked about how to manage emotions, how to handle emotions, and I said to them that whenever emotions comes up, most of the time we do this, and we do this, right? So instead of doing all of these three things, we just let it through, because all the emotions want to do is to go through us. That is all it wants. It is trying to tell us something. And it is only by paying attention to the emotions that is where the turmoil dissipates. Because otherwise, when we try to suppress, when we try to escape, or we try to project, a lot of energy is being drained by just trying to deny the emotions, trying to deny the fact that it is there. And that is the root of all conflict. There is something there, but I don't acknowledge that it is there. So the question came up: how do you let it? How do you let it through? Like when it comes to fear, how do you let it through? Then the answer would be, and then what? So simple. So like as an example, the fear of, let's say, losing my job. Okay, the fear of losing my job. So how do I do this? So I did this experiment with them. How do I? So I said, okay, give me one thought, and she said, okay, losing job. So I said, okay, cool. So let's play this all out, okay? So if you lose your job, and then what? So what? And then she said, oh. But I didn't stop there. I said, okay, let's carry it all the way, okay? So if I lose my job, so what? And then what? I lost my income, lo? And if I lost my income, and then what? I will not be able to pay the bill, and my rent, and my car installment. Okay? If you're not able to pay the rent, pay the bill, pay the car installment, and then what? I'll be living on the streets. Okay? And then what? Actually, nothing. Worst case scenario, I live on the streets. Notice that the resistance, notice that the difficulty comes because we don't want to think about those things. That is where the difficulty is. So the moment we are able and we are willing to think about those things, automatically the emotions come, the emotions, you feel the emotion is gone. There is no fight. So the reason why I am so unafraid most of the time is because I literally drilled through all of that. Okay, what I did was I imagined myself living in the streets. I imagine myself standing in line with with other beneficiaries who are waiting to get food from the soup kitchen. I imagine myself all of that. So when I understand that, when I go through all of it to the worst case scenario, let's say I die of starvation, okay, and then actually nothing. The only fear, the reason why we fear is because we don't want to think about those things. So the moment we are willing to think about those things, right, and carry it through all the way, nothing will bother us anymore. Tell you the example of someone famous, Elon Musk. He has spent, in his younger years, he has spent a couple of months surviving off $1 a week. $1 a week. And it was an experiment which he ran. You can go and Google that up. $1 a week, Elon Musk. He spent quite a long time doing that because he wanted to know whether it is possible. Because he knows that if it is possible, there is no limit to the amount of risk he's willing to take. So, of course, we don't have to go to that extreme. But the reason why people can't fail to come up with a backup plan is because people fail, or rather, people are unwilling to think about the worst case scenario. So if you are willing to think about the worst case scenario and make the necessary emotional and psychological preparations for those things, that would be the end of fear. So I encourage all of you guys to think about the worst case scenario and accept it, allow it to pass through, rather than trying to deny yourself about those things. I'm not asking you to wish for it. I'm not asking you to, prepare physically for it. I'm asking you to just allow the emotions through. Simple as that. Now, why is this so important? Why do I want to share this today? It's because procrastinations. Why do we procrastinate? Well, part of the reason, not all of the reason, but part of the reason why is because we are afraid of something. Maybe we are afraid of what people might say if, let's say, we do the things that we promise imperfectly. Maybe we committed to something, but now we don't feel that we want to continue it, and we want to decommit, but maybe we are afraid of what they might think of us. Maybe we are afraid that if we create something and it is imperfect and we put it out there, people criticize. Procrastinations, a huge chunk of procrastinations comes from internal conflict. I want to do this, but... So a lot of these things I'm going to cover. Today is going to be a quick sharing, but a lot of it I'm going to cover on my upcoming webinar, Zero Procrastination webinar. It is probably going to be about 1.5 2 hours thereabouts, because it is not an easy topic. Even though it is a common symptom, to overcome procrastination is not an easy thing. So I'm going to spend a while to explain why procrastination happens, and I'm doing this out of when by the end of this session you guys will be able to know exactly what is going on, and you will be armed with certain knowledge that worked for me to overcome procrastination immediately. And if you are someone who is in the normal range, all of us who are normal, we tend to procrastinate in at least some areas of our life. And we know that those areas, when we continue to ignore it, problem is going to appear. So rather than waiting for problems to appear, let's proactively solve those issues. It's going to happen on the 24th of November. It is a Tuesday night, 8 p.m. I don't have the registration link yet. I will create it tonight, and latest by tomorrow, it will be done. Once it is done, I would like you guys to join that webinar with me, where I will show you my life's work, shown in public for the first time. It is an absolutely amazing framework which I have condensed from the works of David Hawkins, Carl Jung, Ken Wilber, Tony Robbins, Abraham Maslow, Carl Grace, and as well as understanding from Dilts, which is one of the most prominent practitioners of NLP. And I'm going to be sharing this with you guys. And once you know this, you will understand. Everything will make sense. Why people are the way they are. You will reach a very new, different level of enlightenment. Not enlightened, but you're gonna know a lot of things. And most of your internal conflicts when it comes to yourself as well as people will be resolved after that night. It is going to be a very powerful session. I do hope to see all of you guys there. And in the meantime, I shall see you guys. That is all the sharing I have for tonight. I shall see you guys tomorrow morning, 6:45 a.m. for another journal with me. And I want to experiment with something tonight. If it works, you guys are gonna see it tomorrow. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, stay true to yourself. I shall see you guys very, very soon. Type in any question, any sharing, anything that you want me to cover next. Let me know. All right, I shall see you guys